Another episode of On the Road with Loan Signing System here with signing agent Jose, who makes, are you ready for this, $10,000 a month in signing agent income. When I say that, Jose, how does that feel, man?
Getting goosebumps. Thank you. It's
Man,
amazing.
thank you so much for being here, man. So your story, like all these stories, are an inspiration. Jose was never a signing agent before he took my course. Now he's making $10,000 a month. So let's kind of walk people through your entire story, inspire some people. If Jose can do this, you can do this. So I start off every single one of these interviews with the same question, man. Why did you become a signing agent? Let's talk about just the signing agent part of your journey.
All right. Well, why? Other than I needed to make some money, of course. Little bit about me. I was a full-time musician, right? I was a full-time musician for 15 years, Grammy nominated 2010. So big accomplishment there, of course. Um, my time finally came when I really wanted to settle down. I wanted to form a family. As corny as it sounds, I wanted to form a family. And being in the entertainment industry is really hard, right? So I decided I needed to retire as a full-time musician. A musician, me personally, I will always be a musician for the rest of my life. I still pick up my bass guitar, pick up my bass, pick up my guitar. I just jam out here at home with local friends. But it was time to settle down, form a family. And I did. I found the love of my life. We got married.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Before we get into that, let's talk about why it was hard, right? So why is being a musician hard? Let's talk about some, maybe to another musician or someone who's kind of has a passion for something. So, why was it hard? You keep saying the word hard. What does that mean?
Hard. First of all, you're away from your loved ones. You're living from a suitcase, traveling one hotel to another, different cities, different towns, across the country, internationally too. In Mexico, I used to travel a lot of Mexico. Um, and for me, it wasn't a life anymore. It wasn't fun. After 15 years, it was a job, and that I really didn't like to be there. And I wanted to be home, and I really wanted to enjoy a barbecue on a Saturday afternoon. I really didn't have time to experience that out being away. So it's hard, not just financially, but emotionally, physically draining, when you work late hours, and it's cutthroat. It's cutthroat.
Got it. No, I appreciate you talking through that because what I heard, what you glanced over a little bit was the financial aspect of being a musician, and I'm leaning towards, and I don't put words in your mouth, that part of the financial, not the financial windfall all the time, is another reason why you kind of decided to kind of move in a different direction in your career.
Of course, and now it was time to get serious, of course, and take care of my family financially. So I came across your signing system, and it's like, hey, wait a minute, what's this?
I love it. I love it. Okay, so right after you decided to make the transition from being a musician, talk about your kind of next steps in your kind of your career.
Sure. So I had my notary commission here in the state of California. Why? Because I became an insurance agent, and I was working for a pretty well-known organization that required me to have my notary commission, but I never really put it to work. And once I left that organization, I went independent as an insurance agent, and that's when it really hit hard. Being self-employed, being on your own, no income coming in, unless you start selling, there's no income coming in. And in the insurance industry, it takes quite some time to develop your book of business and really start seeing income coming in. So I needed to supplement that income. So, I would go online just trying to search, what else can I do? What else can I do? My wife said, why don't you put your notary license to work? I mean, what do you mean? It's like, why don't you work in the mortgage industry and, sign off their loan packages? So it's like, Okay, so I started doing my research. A local realtor friend said, well, you have to be, I can't just give it to you. You have to be certified. You have to be appointed with. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, so it's a process. Okay, so I need help. Who can guide me in that direction? And I started doing my online research, and I came across you, man. I
I
came
love,
across you. I came across your videos, your YouTube videos, and from that day forward, it's like, sign me up.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's talk about, let's talk about a little bit of your insurance agent journey, because what I don't think a lot of people know is, being an insurance agent is a really long-term sales cycle. So even though you have a new insurance agent, I mean, from the sounds of it, most you're not making a ton of money, because you have to build the book of business, and that's intriguing, because I don't think a lot of people know that, and maybe another insurance agent out there can relate to this sales cycle that you're having difficulties with, and I didn't realize it was such a long sales cycle.
Yeah, so the way the insurance industry works, it's a great one. You really need patience, and obviously you need to be out there and meeting people and helping them with whatever type of service they need, whatever type of insurance and policy they need. And it takes time to develop your book of business, right? And on top of that, you will lose clients. And guess what? If they pay you your commission, you have to pay that back,
Oh, it's interesting.
chargeback, right? So you want to build that trust with your clients, and you want long-term relationships. Because if your clients keep going, coming and going, it's not going to work out. You're
Oh,
doing something wrong,
yeah, it's
right?
interesting. I knew that, man. But no, I
Yeah,
appreciate walking through that journey, because the reason I kind of want to talk a little bit deeper into that is that you're not the only person in America who deals with a long sales cycle, right? I mean, a realtor deals with a six month sales cycle sometimes. A mortgage officer deals with a 90-day sales cycle. And so, I just want to talk through some other people who might be enduring the same journey you are, as far as like, look, I love being an insurance agent or a realtor or whatever it may be, but being a notary, the money's just so much quicker, right? And
it
so,
is.
talk about a couple of things that you love about being a signing agent.
Well, what don't I love? I get to meet people, strangers, complete strangers that I never knew existed on a day-to-day basis, all day long. So that's the beauty of me. I really like enjoying people. I love talking to people, so that's a plus for me. The money, of course, is going to come. You just have to keep at it, build your relationships, you know. If they say no, no only means next opportunity.
That's right, man. I love it. That's the loan signing system mentality. Let's go. Next up. No, I appreciate you saying that. So let's just kind of get to where you are today about your journey of being a signing agent, as far as like, so now that the pressure of, you said in the beginning of the interview, like, I need to provide for my family. So, talk about like the security of being a signing agent and what that's done for your family specifically.
Well, of course, the money, right? It's great. And for me, it was a bit intimidating going out there and looking for new escrow officers, or not, because I'm new here to this area where I'm currently residing in Northern California. Um, so you have to build some urgency. How bad do you want this? How bad do you need this? Right? So we have to be out there. And for me, it was very intimidating going into a complete new office and nobody knows you, or they'll look at you funny. It's like, what are you doing here? It's like, well, I'm Jose, I'm a local loan signing agent. Here's my business card, or can you introduce me, or is an escrow officer available so I can make an introduction? That was hard for me. That was hard for me, and it took time. But it's like anything. You have a baby, they're learning how to walk. You know, they learn how to crawl. They get up, they fall down, they get back up. Then the next thing you know, they're running all over the place. That's how it is. You know, baby steps. But you have to keep going. You have to keep going, because if you stop, that you have nothing.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, that's a good segue into the next part of the interview. And I always ask, I always like to talk about the actual journey. So what's really cool is Jose, as you can hear, had zero mortgage background. He was a musician and insurance agent, and he's now making $10,000 a month. And this is actually his 1 year anniversary of being a loan signing system student and being a loan signing agent. And now he scaled it to $10,000 in 1 year. So let's take everyone through that journey, Jose, because it's not a quote unquote an overnight success story. Now, I would argue being able to create a $10,000 a month business in 1 year is kind of overnight. But this isn't necessarily a story of, oh, Mark, I went from a loan signing system student and then 2 months later I was making 10,000. So let's take people through your journey and show them, what it's like to persevere and to stick with the system and trust the process. So let's kind of just get right into it, man. So what I think is really, really cool, and I think you just talked about a little bit, and I hope this inspires a lot of our own loan signing system students and our own family members. Jose went direct immediately. So Jose said, look, if I don't want to take words in your mouth because this is awesome. You spoke about it a little bit 2 seconds ago, but let's talk about it again. But so Jose in the beginning said, I don't want to work for signing services. I want to keep the entire signing fee. I deserve the entire signing fee. I can do it. So what's cool is he went direct right out of the gate. So let's talk about that journey right out of the gate, and let's just talk through it, man. So you get your loan signing system certification, you're ready to hit the ground, and you're like, I'm going direct. Talk about that.
Yeah, so to be exact, I got the certification with the loan signing system December of 2018, right? That was the exact same month I retired from my musician career. I started attending realtor events, right? And I met a couple escrow officers. I did not go back to them until 3 months later, March, exactly a year ago. And they asked me, where have you been? So from the first day I stepped foot into that office to this day, I am their go-to notary.
Well,
right?
let me just slow down real quick, because that is so really inspiring. What the first thing is, what I love is, you didn't let fear stop you, because like I teach, success is one step outside your comfort zone. And you went to that networking event, not necessarily with the idea that I need to get business today, but with the idea that I need to start creating relationships. I need to start tearing the Band-Aid off. I need to start showing my face, because in order for me to get better, I have to start doing. So I appreciate that mantra and that energy from you, man. And if I haven't told you, Jose, I'm so proud of you, man. I cannot tell you how proud I am of the signing agent that you've become.
I really do appreciate it, Mark. And thank you also for all this knowledge and education that we receive. And on a day-to-day basis, I continue learning. And every single day, following you on social media, you keep inspiring me. So thank you.
You're so welcome. And so I think you're going to inspire other people through this journey. So, what I wanted to hit home before we continue is, you made the decision, I'm gonna go to realtor event. Everybody has one of these. I don't care where you live. You can live in Anchorage, Alaska. There are real estate agent networking events. And you went in there, and I just want to, and like I said, these episodes aren't necessarily to sell the loan signing system, but to inspire people and give people free inspiration and free information. And you're telling them it's as simple as going into a networking and meeting a few people. I mean, I'm just so proud of you of that. And you did that right out of the gate. So if you're a loan signing system student and you've never gone direct, and Jose is an example, you can do it right out of the gate. So I'm just wanting to make sure that I touch base on that, give you a lot of props for that, because it takes a lot of courage, which we're going to get to about the courage later. But let's continue. So the first day, you're like, I'm going to a networking event. How much money were you making the first few months of being a signing agent?
I think the first quarter I was averaging part-time basis, 2,500 to 3,000 for the first quarter of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
again, as a part-time, and hey.
Awesome. No, it's
all
all
good.
Awesome.
It was great.
What I want to inspire, and what I was going to say is that, you made a decision right out of the gate that I'm going to go direct, and you were making $2,000, $2,500 a month with direct business right out of the gate. I mean, Jose, that is inspiring, man. I mean, there are signing agents watching this right now who've been an LSS student for a year and just work for signing services only. And you made the decision early on, and I think that, your inspiration of that is awesome. I mean, let's kind of take a little bit of a right turn here, but I think we're having such a good conversation that, what would you say to a signing agent who's a little bit intimidated, what words can you say to inspire a signing agent who may be a little intimidated to go into a networking event?
You know, just do it. You have to do it. You have to presently be there. You have to put yourself out there. If it's in networking events, if it's going to different escrow and title companies, you have to. It has to be a routine. A routine. They have to get to know you because it comes down to you as a persona, right? What can Jose, what does Jose have? Hey, I like this guy. You know, let me give him a shot. You do a good job. Hey, are you available? Yes, I am. You know, it has to be a routine. You can you can't stop. You want to work out and look good at you have to keep going to the gym. You can't just go once and I feel good for one day, I feel sore and stop. It's not going to work.
I
You have to
love it.
keep going. Keep going. And again, how bad do you want this? What's the urgency? Are you behind on your payments? Are you looking for a secondary job if you already have a part-time a full-time job during the day? You know, you have to ask yourself those questions. How bad do I want this?
Love it. I love it. And I think so. Thank you for saying that. Like I said, if you know what to listen for in these interviews, our students drop amazing knowledge. I love how you said like it becomes a routine. And if you create a routine, all successful people have habits. And if you create a habit of marketing, you create a habit of going out, that's what creates your success. And I think that's so awesome to hear from a signing agent who had the nerves and who was intimidated, that once you became a routine, it became natural. Once it becomes natural, it's game over, like you're doing right now.
And excuse me for the interruption here. And again, there is no right or wrong. You will figure it out. You will figure out what works for you because what works for me may not work for you or anybody else, right? But you get tips of individuals and you just start doing it and you'll see what works for you and it's like, okay, this is working for me. I get it. And you just keep going. You keep going.
Yeah. No, what I love too, when I teach all you students is I give you a foundation, right? And you take the script and you make the script your own, right? I mean, what I say verbatim may not come out of your mouth the way it sounds like out of my mouth, but the point I'm trying to make is you take the script, you take the foundation and you made it yours. And when you go market, you're taking the foundations you learn, but you're making it yours. And I think that's a powerful thing to say because I think some new students get tripped up over the script and like, well, Mark, I can't say this. Well, you were never meant to be me. I just want to give you the principles of what to say, and then it's your job to turn that into your own words. But I love that you implement the script. I love you're implementing the techniques, and you're just going out and doing it.
Yes, sir. That's it. That's it. How bad do you want it?
That's right.
Ask yourself, you know, and just do it. Just go out there. You know, you're going to mess up. You're going to stumble on the words but just be out there. It will work.
Love it, man. I love it. And I always know that the running theme between all the students is, a lot of people out there think that you need to reinvent the wheel. You just need to implement. You need to copy and implement, copy and implement. And the fact that you're doing that, man, just makes me so proud because there's some students who kind of veer off the path and you're like, no, get back on, just implement. You know what I mean?
Right. No, hey, I mean, you couldn't have said it better. You don't reinvent the wheel. It's there already, you know?
Love it. Okay, so let's talk about month number 4 through 6. So 0 through 3, you're part-time, you're making $2,000 a month, 2,500 bucks a month. Let's talk about kind of quarter number 2 of your journey and talk people through what you're doing, what you're going through to get where you are right now.
So I guess my second quarter, that's when I started, seeing that this is working. This is working for me. It's working for my family. I have time to take my kids to school to pick them up from school, right? And it's working. It's working on my personal schedule, right? So, and you're gonna you're gonna say you didn't follow what I said from the get-go. I did not have a printer for the first 6 months.
But that's
Okay.
okay because you're going direct. You're like, I'm getting direct business. You don't need a printer. So I think it's actually kind of inspiring. The reason I tell students out of the gate to get the printer is in case you're going to run directly into signing service business. Right. But I want people to be inspired that you didn't get the printer because the escrow officers print the docs for you. But I love
Right.
where the journey is going because I know where you're going to say next. But I just wanted to make sure people understood you didn't get a printer because you went direct, and direct opportunities give you the docs printed, so you don't need you don't actually need a printer. But
Right.
like you're about to talk about how you scaled the business, and so let's talk about that now.
Yeah. So once I decided, it's like, I need to take this to a different level, because on a day-to-day basis, I'll get orders in. Are you available? Are you available? Are you available? And I'll just decline them. Why? Because I didn't have the printer to print my docs. You know? So I decided to go to the nearby store, buy myself a printer, one that you recommended, and ever since then, it just took off.
Well,
You
so
know?
let me just make sure we are telling the story together. So about month number second quarter, when you're like, okay, I see the potential, I'm going on in. So at that point, you said, well, I'm going to start signing up for signing services and do a combo of business between direct and signing service while you're scaling to where you are today. And so is that telling the story correctly?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So you were doing direct business part-time the first 3 months. Once you saw the writing on the wall, you're like, okay, I get it. I'm gonna start doing everything else that's in the course. I'm gonna start signing up for the signing services. I'm gonna start working for signing service directly. Therefore, you got the printer and you start scaling. That's the correct, accurate statement?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Cool.
Yeah.
Month 4 through 6, now you're mixing signing service business with direct business. How much money are you making more or less in your journey?
More or less around $5,000 a month.
Okay, great. This is awesome. I mean,
Minimum four. I mean, $1,000 a week.
that's
Easy.
wrap your head
Easy.
around that real quick. Now that you're reflecting on your journey, you went from never being a signing agent to making $1,000 a week in like month number 4. I mean, that's insane, right?
Yeah. It's crazy. I honestly never thought you can do so much money in doing notaries.
Oh man.
It's just, excuse my ignorance, but I saw a notary sign somewhere in public. Oh, if you need a piece of paper to be acknowledged, take it there. That's what I thought. I had no idea. You know.
Yeah, that's
So
insane.
yeah, second quarter, maybe, minimum 4 to 5,000. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about the last 6 months. So you decided I'm all in on the business, right? You're 6 months. In February 2020, you had your very best month ever. Jose Instagram, he's like, Mark, I'm in the 10K club. I'm in the 10K club. So you're officially a $10,000 month signing agent. Congratulations again, man. So
Thank
proud of this journey. Okay, so the previous 6 months, kind of talk about where you're going to get to this $10,000 month plateau.
So come September of last year, I had everything in order. Now I have my little home office, with my printer printing all day, and on top of that, of course, getting my directs, right? So that's when I really took it serious. It's like, hey, this is working. This is working for me. It's working for my family, and I really enjoy it. On top of everything, I really enjoy it, and the income is great. So now the last 6 months, it's been between 6 and now 10K, right? But the last quarter is 8,989. Last month, 10,300 and some change.
Woo!
Yep.
Man, I get so excited for you students. $10,000. Like, honestly, wrap your head around that number, man. How does that feel when you say that over and over?
Oh my gosh. You know what? I had this goal, and I said, February, I have to hit it. I know it's the shortest month, but I have to hit it, and I will hit it, and I did hit it.
I love it. Dude, in 2020, you're going to be a six-figure signing agent. There's zero doubt. The rest of this year, you're going to make 100 grand in this industry. I have zero doubt. You understand $100,000 a year is only 8,300 bucks a month. You're crushing those numbers. You're going to do 6 figures this year. How does that sound? That I mean, do you feel in your heart you're going to do 6 figures this year?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. And then I've never done that in my life. I've never done that, and it feels great. It feels something that I never imagined doing, And now with all my heart, I know I'm gonna do this.
Oh man,
Easy.
I'm so happy for you and your family, Jose. Like, honestly, I'm so proud of him. I keep saying that till I'm blue in the face, man. I mean, you know what? Your story is really cool because it's a story of perseverance. Some students would see $2,500 a month as not a success, and you were like, look. I'm going in $2,500 proven to be what's possible. The sense of urgency you keep using, this idea of creating a routine, marketing is becoming a routine for you. I think that's a really good tip that signing agents should steal. I think that this whole journey is not something that happened overnight like Andrew Weissman, right? It's I was slow and steady won the race, and you just said yourself, in your second full year being a signing agent, you're going to be six figures. I can't wait to do a follow-up interview with you in 12 months from now, and you're like, Mark, I did it. I'm so excited. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's go. You
Sir.
know, it's I'll keep repeating myself because we all have the capability of doing it. It's just a matter of how bad you want it, right? Go out there, meet your local uh, escrow officers, and you might not have a straight connection with one, but there's other people that know people, and they might make an introduction for you. So you just have to be out there, say what you do, because if we just keep quiet, it's not gonna work. And we have to be out there, make it a routine. You'll figure out your way, what works for you.
I always
At least that's,
is people don't know you're open for business unless you tell them you're open for business. And getting out
right.
there, telling them, just using everything you learn. I'm so proud of you. So let's go into like the meat and potatoes of this interview. I mean, I think to this point, people are just like super like inspired. You were a musician, never a signing agent. Now you're making 10,000 bucks a month. But now let's teach people what has been working for you. So I always ask every one of you students I interview, give one tip, your best tip for a signing agent to help grow their business.
Just don't stop learning. Continue educating. Education is key, right? It'll make you more valuable. Easy. Yes, we are signing agents. We're not supposed to be give advice or an opinion, but if we can explain a little bit more in depth what it means, that's you're golden, baby. And escrow, you're just make everybody's life easier too. Oh well, Jose or X, they're good at explaining, fully the docs. They're not just there getting signatures. And I think that's been my biggest asset. Continuing educating yourself.
I love it, man. And so,
Yeah.
let's talk about it a little bit deeper. So, I think part of that, and because that's what I teach you guys, right? I mean, the most best signing agent's the most well-rounded signing agent. And so, yes, it is imperative you know the loan documents, imperative that you can go over them with it and generally describe them, because we're able to generally describe. We can't lead or we can't give advice, but we can tell someone's on the piece of paper, point out to the information that exists that's completely what you should be doing. And if you're not, you're falling short. And I love how you said that actually is a value add to your clients to prove how many notaries are not generally describing the documents, who are not educated like you are. So I love that, because that's what the loan signing system is about. It's making those educated signing agents on the planet. But let's go through another part of this general, this education. So are you just making sure that you also know industry trends, real estate trends, mortgage trends? So kind of talk
Oh,
through that.
yeah, definitely. We are ultimately, this is the real estate mortgage industry that we are providing a service for. So yes, definitely know the trends, right? What are we all doing right now? Refinancing. Why? The rates are low. Learn your mortgage industry, learn your real estate industry. What, right? From a listing to a selling out, agent, what are their roles, right? Even to an appraiser, you know um, know the industry. I think again, it just brings more value to you.
No, I think that is an unbelievable piece of advice. It's like I said, it's one thing to know your loan docs. It's another thing to know the industry, right? And that's all self things you can self-teach yourself, self-taught information. You don't need a course for that, right? Going out and learning the more what the where rates are at, learning the housing trends. So when you're in front of another mortgage professional, you can actually have an educated conversation. And so I think that what your conversation right now is bigger than just the loan signing system course. It is tips on, because when you go to networking events, you need to sound like a well-rounded mortgage professional. And I think that
Exactly.
your advice of knowing the mortgage industry and knowing real estate trends makes you a better, well-rounded marketer and someone you should have a conversation with. And I think, man, that is a phenomenal piece of advice. And I hope that really, really resonated with people watching this, because so many signing agents are myopic. They're like, oh, I can do the perfect signing. Okay, be
Mhm.
better than that. Be more than that. That's when you, like you said, that's when you add value. If you know what to listen for in these interviews are gold, man. So excited that you just dropped that knowledge on them. Okay, so kind of wrapping up, I always ask, and I always end with this, because new signing agents, current loan signing system family members, they're always, some of the students who aren't quite at the 10K level still have a few nerves. They have a few things they're nervous or fearful about. So looking back on your journey, Jose, what was something you were nervous about in the beginning, that now at the 10K point, you're like, man, why was I even nervous about that to begin
Going into an office. Okay. Going into an office, it was so breaking for me, and I was so intimidated. You might ask me, you might say, you were a musician. You were up on stage performing for X amount of people. Yes, that was my home. Stepping on the stage, jamming with my band. That was my comfort zone. I owned the stage, but now this is different. This was a different animal. So yes, I was nervous. I was like, my first one was easy. They were the one that said, "Hey, where have you been?" Right? So okay, now going into other ones locally, and there's still so many offices that I haven't gone. Either if I'm procrastinating or again I'm a little bit shy still. But now, mm-mm.
with? I love it.
you
Well, let's
you
talk through
leave
that a
the
little bit.
way and I'm there.
So what I heard is phenomenal. Well, there's a few things I heard, which is great. I heard that even though you're at the 10K mark, you still get nervous going to escrow offices, which is phenomenal because that's real, right? And so I'm going to talk about I'm going to ask, excuse me, what makes you get past those nerves. But before that, I think what I heard is that what you used to be nervous about is going into escrow offices. And now you realize they're just people like me and you. Like you walk in,
Definitely.
they put on their pants one leg at a time. You walk in and they have interests outside of escrow, right? They're just kind of human. So, what you were super nervous about in the beginning, you're now realizing that mortgage professionals are just like me and you. Talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, again, they're only human. You couldn't have said it better. They're only human, just like you and me, right? They have, you know, whatever they're dealing with outside or at work, especially in this industry, is there's a lot of stress, the time, right? You have to meet deadlines, because every single day, if the rate like expires and all hell breaks loose, right? So they're just like you and me, and they're always looking for somebody reliable, somebody that's going to be their go-to guy or gal. It's like, hey, they're going to take care of my clients. They're going to take care of my files. Trust me, they're always looking for that individual.
And I think, I know it's so funny is, I'm always saying that too, but people think I'm trying to sell the course, right? They're like, oh, Mark, you're just saying that to say that. But I love that you're saying the truth. Like these escrows are constantly looking for notaries that they can trust and they can rely. And that's why it's your job to go in and say the script and get past those nerves. And, even to this day, you still have a little bit of those nerves. So let's talk through that. Like, so let's say you're in front of an escrow office. Let's inspire somebody right now. How do you motivate yourself or push yourself past those nerves?
The question is, for me, I want more direct. I want 100% of my business direct. It is possible, definitely possible. You have to put yourself out there again, right? If I have two officers that give me all their work, right? I want to gain 2, 3 more. What I have to do, I have to go out there. I have to start all over, start all over, rewind the cassette tape and start from the beginning, So, but I still get shy. I'm shy right now being in camera, you know. But you just have to do it. Just have to do it.
So when you're getting there, you just kind of like pump yourself up, talk yourself through it. I got to do it, Jose. I got to do it. Like, and I think it's really cool. I'm just trying, so everyone's tactic on getting through that nervous time is different. And so what I'm hearing is you just literally kind of talk to yourself and you're like, you can do it. I got to do it. I have no choice to do it. Is that what I'm hearing?
Definitely. If I have some time during the day, most obviously, most of the signings, the majority of them are the early afternoon or early evening or on weekends. Okay, we know that. And if you have some time, if you don't have a full-time job during the day, go out there, And for me, again, I'll procrastinate, and it's like, no, I'm comfortable here at my home, working on, if I have to work on my insurance stuff. But if I have some time, I'll procrastinate and not go out there. I do procrastinate, so I just have to, you know, just do it.
Love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So first off, phenomenal interview, man. So thankful for this time today. Let's wrap up with this. Is there any last like motivating, inspiring, encouraging words that you would give anybody watching this right now to reach their dreams, to go build a signing agent business? What are some last parting, inspiring words from Jose, who took a year to get here, who was never a signing agent, who was a musician? What are something you can say to leave us and a new signing agent inspired?
Man, for me, it was creating that urgency, creating the urgency of wanting more, wanting more. Me personally, I want to have control of my time, right? And I decided to work for myself, either self-employed or now this, and just go out there and do it, right? A lot of us, will think, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does? Well, and it will do. It comes down to you, right? It comes down to you to just say, you know what, I'm gonna do this. What do we have to lose at the end of the day? If we want to find out and go out there and do it.
I love it. Well, with that, man, epic, epic, epic. Congratulations on the 10K club, man.
Yeah.
I'm just super juiced for you. Literally, I'm going to do a follow-up interview in 1 year. You will be a six-figure signing agent. I believe it in my core. I know you do too. Again, man, thank you so much for taking time and sharing your journey. And I will talk to you soon, man. Bye.
Bye.